The secret to Solomon's wealth. Let me tell you something. There's a reason why King Solomon's name has echoed through history as one of the wealthiest and wisest men to ever walk the earth. Imagine this. A young man, barely experienced, suddenly finds himself as king over a nation. Overwhelmed, Solomon is given the opportunity to ask God for anything: wealth, power, fame. No. Solomon asks for wisdom to lead his people, and God, seeing his selflessness, grants him not only wisdom, but also unimaginable wealth and honor. Now let me ask you, what would you ask for in that moment? If God appeared to you tonight and said, "Ask for anything, and it will be yours," what would you choose? For most of us, the answer would be something material: money, success, or even a way out of our struggles. But Solomon's story teaches us something profound. True wealth starts in the mind. Today, I'm going to share with you the 3 secret codes Solomon used to unlock a lifetime of riches, prosperity, and influence. These aren't just ancient principles buried in scripture. They're timeless truths that can transform your financial and personal life if you're willing to apply them. I need you to pay close attention, because these codes are not just about attracting wealth. They're about something bigger: manifesting abundance, maintaining success, and creating overflow that impacts not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Let me tell you something else. Wealth isn't just about money in the bank. It's about the opportunities it creates, the freedom it provides, and the legacy it leaves. So don't think these teachings are just for kings like Solomon. No, they're for you too, regardless of where you are right now, whether you're struggling to pay your bills or already on your journey to financial freedom. So, here's my promise to you. If you listen carefully and embrace these principles, you will unlock the same door to prosperity that Solomon did. Stay with me until the end, because the last code is the most powerful, and it could be the key to turning your dreams into reality. And before we dive in, let me ask one more thing. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it helps us continue sharing life-changing insights with people like you. Now let's unlock the secret to Solomon's success. Are you ready? Let's go. 1. Wisdom as the foundation for wealth. Let me tell you something. Wealth without wisdom is like a palace built on sand. It may look impressive, but it won't stand the test of time. Solomon's story shows us this truth in action. When God appeared to Solomon in a dream and asked him what he wanted, Solomon didn't hesitate. He could have asked for gold, for power, or for the destruction of his enemies, but instead he asked for wisdom, to discern right from wrong and to lead his people well. Think about that for a moment. Solomon, a young king with an entire kingdom at his feet, chose wisdom over wealth. Why? Because he understood that riches alone cannot sustain you. Without wisdom, wealth is fleeting. But with wisdom, you gain the ability to create, manage, and multiply riches for a lifetime. Now, let me share a story that demonstrates this wisdom in action. Early in his reign, Solomon faced a seemingly impossible challenge. 2 women came before him, both claiming to be the mother of the same baby. With no witnesses and no evidence, how could Solomon uncover the truth? What Solomon did next was both shocking and brilliant. He called for a sword and suggested cutting the baby in half, giving each woman an equal share. One woman, driven by compassion, begged him to spare the child's life, even if it meant giving him to the other woman. The other woman coldly agreed to the plan. In that moment, Solomon knew who the real mother was, the one willing to sacrifice her claim to save her child. This wasn't just a display of wisdom, it was a demonstration of the kind of discernment that builds trust, earns respect, and creates lasting authority. Solomon's decision didn't just solve the problem, It solidified his reputation as a wise and just king. That's the kind of wisdom we need in our financial lives, to see beyond the surface and make decisions that create long-term value. Solomon himself wrote in Proverbs 16, verse 16, "How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver." Why would a man as wealthy as Solomon say that wisdom is better than gold? Because he knew that without wisdom, gold is meaningless. How many times have we heard of lottery winners losing everything within a few years? Their problem isn't a lack of money, it's a lack of wisdom to manage it. Wealth can vanish in an instant, but wisdom stays with you forever. Let me ask you, are you seeking wisdom in your financial journey, or are you chasing quick riches? The path to lasting wealth begins in the mind. It's about understanding how to use what you have to create more and learning how to avoid the traps that destroy wealth. So how can you apply Solomon's principle of wisdom to your life? Here are 3 steps to start with. Seek knowledge daily. Solomon didn't become wise overnight. He pursued knowledge and surrounded himself with advisors. You can do the same. Start by reading books on personal finance, listening to podcasts, or taking courses that teach you how to manage and grow your wealth. Even 10 minutes a day of focused learning can transform your mindset over time. Surround yourself with wise counsel. Proverbs 15:22 reminds us, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." Who are you listening to? Find mentors, follow financial experts, and connect with people who can guide you. The right advice at the right time can save you years of mistakes. Think long-term. As Solomon didn't focus on temporary gains. He built systems and structures that sustained his wealth for generations. Stop looking for quick fixes and start making decisions with the future in mind. Whether it's investing in assets, building a business, or saving for the future, focus on what will create lasting value. Let me tell you something. Wisdom is the most valuable investment you can make. It's the key that unlocks not just wealth, but also peace of mind, freedom, and the ability to make a positive impact on the world. When you prioritize wisdom, everything else begins to fall into place. Here's the truth. Wealth is already within your reach, but you need the wisdom to see it and seize it. The opportunities are there. You just have to prepare yourself mentally to recognize them. That's what Solomon did, and that's what you can do too. So here's my challenge to you. Start seeking wisdom today. Pick up a book on personal finance, ask a mentor for advice, or take a course that will teach you something new. Drop a comment below and share one step you're taking to grow in wisdom. Let's inspire each other on this journey. 2. The power of action and discipline. Let me tell you something. Knowledge is powerful, but it's powerless without action. Solomon, one of the wealthiest men in history, didn't just sit back and wait for his wisdom to do the work for him. He combined that wisdom with diligent action and disciplined effort to turn his potential into prosperity. Now let me ask you, how often do you find yourself learning something valuable but failing to act on it? You might have watched countless videos, read books, or taken courses on building wealth, but none of that matters if it stays as knowledge in your mind. Solomon understood that wisdom without action is like a seed never planted. It will never grow. When Solomon became king, he inherited wealth and power from his father, David. But he didn't rely on what he had been given. Instead, he built alliances, established trade routes, and oversaw massive construction projects, including the Grand Temple in Jerusalem. These were not small tasks. They required planning, coordination, and disciplined effort. Solomon's trade agreements brought wealth into his kingdom, his alliances secured peace, and his disciplined governance ensured the prosperity of his people. He didn't just have wisdom. He used it to take bold, consistent actions that multiplied his wealth and influence. Proverbs 10:4 captures this principle perfectly. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Let me tell you something else. Discipline is the difference between people who dream of success and those who achieve it. It's easy to start a project or set a goal, but staying consistent, that's where the real power lies. Let's bring this into the present. Imagine someone who learns everything there is to know about investing, but never actually invests a dollar. They may be knowledgeable, but their lack of action keeps them stuck. Contrast this with someone who starts small, investing just $50 a month. Over time, their consistent action leads to compounding growth, turning a modest investment into a substantial portfolio. The same applies to building wealth in other areas, whether it's starting a side hustle, creating a budget, or learning a new skill. It's not about how much you know, it's about how much you do. Here are 3 actionable steps to harness the power of action and discipline in your life. Start small, but start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. Solomon didn't wait for conditions to be ideal before he began building the temple or expanding his kingdom. Start with what you have, where you are. Whether it's setting aside $10 a week to save, taking the first step on a project, or reaching out to a mentor, the key is to act. Create a routine for success. Discipline isn't about doing something once, it's about showing up consistently. Build habits that support your financial goals. For example, schedule time every week to review your finances, set goals, and evaluate your progress. Think of it as planting seeds that will grow into a harvest. Focus on progress, not perfection. Many people get stuck because they're afraid of making mistakes. But let me tell you something. Action, even imperfect action, is better than inaction. Solomon's wealth wasn't built in a day, and yours won't be either. Focus on small, steady steps forward and let discipline guide you through setbacks. Let me ask you again, are you willing to do what it takes, even when it's hard? Discipline means saving when it's easier to spend, working when it's easier to relax, and staying committed even when results aren't immediate. Think of a farmer planting seeds. They don't see a harvest the next day, but they water the seeds, tend the soil, and wait patiently because they know the harvest will come. Your financial journey is no different. Action and discipline are the tools that turn potential into reality. Here's the beauty of action and discipline. They create momentum. The first step may feel difficult, but each step builds on the last, creating a cycle of growth and progress. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes 11:6, "Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well." In other words, don't hold back. Take consistent, disciplined action, and you'll see results in ways you never expected. Here's my challenge to you. Take one step today that aligns with your financial goals. It doesn't have to be big. Just start. Whether it's creating a budget, researching an investment, or putting extra effort into your work, commit to action. 3. Honor, gratitude, and generosity. Let me tell you something. True wealth isn't just measured by what you have, but by the gratitude and generosity you show with it. Solomon understood this deeply. His life was a testament to the power of honoring what you've been given, expressing gratitude for your blessings, and using your resources to uplift others. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you paused to express gratitude for what you already have? Gratitude is a magnet for abundance. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you open the door for more blessings to flow into your life. Solomon's story teaches us that gratitude and honor are not just nice ideas. They're powerful principles that create a cycle of prosperity. When Solomon became king, one of his first acts was to go to Gibeon and offer 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar. This wasn't a small gesture. It was an extravagant display of gratitude and honor to God. Solomon understood that his wealth, power, and position weren't things he earned on his own. They were blessings entrusted to him. This act of gratitude didn't go unnoticed. That very night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream and said, "Ask me for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." Imagine having that kind of opportunity. Solomon could have asked for wealth, power, or the defeat of his enemies, but instead, he chose to honor God by asking for wisdom to lead his people. Let me tell you something. Solomon's gratitude and humility unlocked blessings far beyond what he could have imagined. God didn't just give him wisdom, he gave him wealth, honor, and influence unlike any king before or after him. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a mindset that shapes how you see the world and how you approach opportunities. When you're grateful for what you have, you stop focusing on what you lack. This shift in perspective creates an abundant mindset, which attracts more opportunities and blessings. Here's an example. Have you ever noticed how the most generous people often seem to have more to give? That's not a coincidence. Generosity flows naturally from a heart of gratitude, and it creates a cycle of abundance that multiplies wealth. Solomon's life wasn't just marked by gratitude, it was marked by generosity. He used his wealth to build the temple, provide for his people, and honor God. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Generosity isn't just about giving money. It's about giving your time, energy, and resources to make a difference. Solomon's generosity extended beyond material wealth. It was in the wisdom he shared, the justice he upheld, and the legacy he left behind. Let me tell you something else. Generosity is a multiplier. When you give freely, you create a ripple effect that impacts not just the recipient, but also your own life. Giving doesn't deplete your resources, it expands them. Here's how you can apply these principles in your own life. Practice daily gratitude. Start each day by reflecting on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as having food on the table or as significant as a recent career breakthrough. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. Honor your commitments and relationships. Solomon honored God by seeking wisdom to serve his people. In your own life, honor the people and opportunities that have contributed to your success. Show respect and appreciation for mentors, colleagues, and loved ones who support you. Commit to generosity. Make giving a part of your life, whether it's donating to a cause, mentoring someone in need, or simply helping a friend. Generosity creates a cycle of blessings that returns to you in unexpected ways. Celebrate others' success. Honor the success of those around you instead of competing or comparing. When you celebrate others, you align yourself with the same energy that attracts success into your own life. Let me tell you something profound. Wealth without gratitude is empty, but wealth with gratitude is overflowing. Solomon's story reminds us that gratitude and generosity are the keys to creating not just financial abundance, but a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Gratitude unlocks abundance, generosity creates a cycle of blessings, and honoring what you've been given ensures that your wealth is not just temporary, but lasting. Here's my challenge to you. Start practicing gratitude, honor, and generosity today. Take a moment right now to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Think about one way you can give back to someone or something that's impacted your life. For manifestation through alignment with purpose. Let me tell you something. Wealth isn't just about accumulating money, it's about aligning your life with a higher purpose. Solomon didn't become one of the wealthiest men in history simply by chasing gold or building a kingdom for himself. His wealth was a byproduct of his alignment with a purpose far greater than personal gain. He understood that wealth flows when your goals and actions are connected to something meaningful. Now, let me ask you, what's driving your pursuit of wealth? Is it just to pay bills or buy luxuries, or are you seeking something deeper, a way to leave a legacy, make a difference, or fulfill a calling? When your intentions are aligned with a greater purpose, wealth becomes a tool to amplify that purpose, not just an end goal. The construction of the temple in Jerusalem is one of Solomon's greatest achievements. This wasn't just a building project, it was an act of alignment with his purpose as a leader chosen by God. Solomon used his wisdom, wealth, and resources to create a place of worship that honored God and served his people. This alignment with purpose wasn't just spiritual, it was practical. The temple became a symbol of unity, prosperity, and faith for the nation of Israel. But here's the deeper lesson. Solomon's purpose wasn't about his personal wealth. It was about creating something that outlasted him. He aligned his actions with a vision that extended beyond his lifetime, and that alignment became a source of endless prosperity. Let me tell you something else. Purpose gives your wealth meaning. Without purpose, money is just paper and possessions are just things. But when your financial decisions are aligned with a greater purpose, every dollar you earn and spend becomes a step towards something significant. Imagine 2 people with identical incomes. One spends their money aimlessly, buying things they don't need and living paycheck to paycheck. The other uses their money intentionally, investing in education, supporting causes they believe in, and building a future for their family. Who do you think will feel more fulfilled? Who do you think will create lasting wealth? The difference isn't income, it's purpose. When you align your finances with your purpose, you start to see wealth as a tool, not a trophy. You begin to make decisions that create long-term value, not just short-term gratification. Here's how you can start aligning your financial goals with your life's purpose. Define your purpose. Take some time to reflect on your deeper why. What motivates you? What legacy do you want to leave? Your purpose might be to provide for your family, support a cause you believe in, or build something that serves others. Write it down and revisit it often. Set purpose-driven financial goals. Once you've defined your purpose, create financial goals that align with it. For example, if your purpose is to help others, you might set a goal to build a business that provides jobs or start a fund to support a charitable cause. Prioritize meaningful investments. Align your spending and investments with your values. Instead of chasing trends or wasting money on things that don't matter, focus on areas that support your purpose. This could mean investing in education, starting a side hustle, or contributing to a cause that resonates with you. Evaluate your actions regularly. Check in with yourself frequently to ensure your actions and decisions align with your purpose. Are you spending your money in ways that reflect your values? Are your goals moving you closer to your vision? Let me tell you something else. Manifestation isn't just about wishing for something. It's about aligning your thoughts, actions, and intentions with your goals. Solomon didn't just pray for wisdom and wealth. He took deliberate steps to align his actions with the vision God had given him. That alignment created a flow of blessings that surpassed anything he could have achieved on his own. When you're aligned with your purpose, opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. The right connections, ideas, and resources come into your life, not because of luck, but because your actions and intentions are in harmony. Here's the truth. Alignment with purpose is the ultimate key to fulfillment and abundance. Solomon didn't pursue wealth for its own sake. He pursued a vision that honored God, served his people, and left a legacy. That's why his wealth wasn't just material, it was meaningful. When you align your financial goals with your life's purpose, you unlock the power to create something bigger than yourself. Your wealth becomes a tool to amplify your impact, and your success becomes a reflection of your values. Here's my challenge to you. Take a moment to reflect on your purpose. Write it down, and then identify one action you can take today to align your finances with that purpose. Maybe it's creating a budget, starting an investment, or supporting a cause that matters to you. Drop a comment below and share what your purpose is and how you plan to align your actions with it. And if this message resonates with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's build a life of wealth and meaning, just like Solomon did. 5. Build and protect your legacy. Let me tell you something. True wealth isn't just about what you earn. It's about what you leave behind. Solomon's story teaches us that wealth is most meaningful when it outlasts you, when it becomes a legacy that impacts generations. Building wealth is one thing, but protecting and multiplying it for the future, that's the ultimate goal. Now let me ask you, what kind of legacy are you building right now? Are you focused only on the present, or are you creating something that will benefit your children, your community, or even the world? Solomon's life was a masterclass in building and protecting a legacy, and his lessons are just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Solomon didn't just inherit wealth from his father, King David. He expanded and fortified it. He built trade networks that connected nations, developed infrastructure that supported his kingdom's growth, and amassed wealth through strategic alliances. But his most enduring legacy was the temple he built in Jerusalem, a symbol of faith, unity, and prosperity that continues to inspire to this day. Solomon's temple wasn't just a building, it was a vision realized through careful planning, resource allocation, and discipline. It reflected not only his wisdom, but also his foresight in creating something that would stand as a testament to his reign long after he was gone. Let me tell you something else. Solomon understood that wealth isn't just about accumulation. It's about stewardship. He managed his resources with care, ensuring that they served a purpose greater than himself. Building a legacy isn't just about creating wealth, it's about protecting it. Solomon wrote in Proverbs 13, verse 22, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." Think about that. Solomon's vision wasn't limited to his lifetime. He planned for generations to come, ensuring that his kingdom's prosperity would continue even after his reign. He knew that without careful planning and management, even the greatest fortune could be squandered. Now, let me ask you, how are you protecting what you're building? Are you creating systems to sustain your wealth, or are you leaving it vulnerable to loss? Legacy isn't just about what you leave behind, it's about how well you prepare the next generation to carry it forward. Here's how you can apply Solomon's principles to your own financial journey. Invest in long-term assets. Solomon invested in projects that created lasting value, like the temple and his trade routes. In your own life, focus on assets that appreciate over time, such as real estate, stocks, or businesses. These investments can provide a foundation for wealth that grows and endures. Create a financial plan for the future. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Develop a clear plan for how your wealth will be managed, preserved, and passed down. This might include setting up a trust, creating a will, or investing in insurance to protect your assets. Educate the next generation. Solomon's wisdom wasn't just for himself, it was for his people. Teach your children and loved ones the principles of wealth management so they can continue building on your legacy. Share your knowledge and experiences to prepare them for the responsibilities of stewardship. Give back to your community. Legacy isn't just about family, it's about impact. Use your resources to support causes, projects, or initiatives that reflect your values. Giving back creates a ripple effect of prosperity that extends beyond your lifetime. Reinvest in growth. Solomon didn't hoard his wealth. He reinvested it to expand his kingdom's reach and influence. Take a portion of what you earn and reinvest it into ventures that create more opportunities for growth, both for yourself and for others. Let me tell you something profound. Your legacy is your footprint on this earth. It's not just the money you leave behind. It's the values, principles, and impact you instill in others. Solomon's story reminds us that wealth is a tool for creating a lasting legacy, but it requires wisdom, action, and careful stewardship to endure. When you focus on building and protecting your legacy, you're not just creating wealth, you're creating a ripple effect that will benefit others for generations. Your efforts today can inspire, empower, and uplift those who come after you. Here's my challenge to you. Start building your legacy today. Take one step toward creating something that will outlast you, whether it's investing in an asset, teaching a loved one about finances, or supporting a cause that aligns with your values. Drop a comment below and share one way you're planning to build or protect your legacy. And if this message resonates with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's create a legacy of abundance and impact together, just like Solomon did. As we near to the end, let me remind you, the path to true wealth isn't just about money. It's about wisdom, action, gratitude, alignment with purpose, and leaving a lasting legacy. These aren't just ideas pulled from the pages of history. They are principles you can apply to your life today to unlock the abundance and fulfillment you've been seeking. Think about Solomon's story. He didn't chase riches or fame. He sought wisdom, acted with diligence, honored his blessings with gratitude, aligned his wealth with a greater purpose, and built a legacy that outlasted him. These are the codes to wealth that never fades. Now, let me ask you, what step will you take today to start applying these principles in your life? Will you seek wisdom, take action, show gratitude, align your goals with a higher purpose, or begin building your legacy? It doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is the direction you choose to move in. Here's my challenge. Commit to one action today that moves you closer to a life of abundance. It could be as simple as writing down your financial goals, practicing gratitude for what you already have, or sharing your knowledge with someone else. Small steps lead to big changes when you stay consistent. And before you go, let's keep this conversation alive. Drop a comment below and share which of Solomon's principles resonated with you the most. Tell us one way you're planning to implement it in your journey to wealth and fulfillment. Let's take Solomon's wisdom and turn it into action. The wealth you seek is already within your reach. Start today and let's build a legacy of abundance together. See you in the next video.